Good morning, everyone. We are back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to go over basics of car washing. So if you just got a vehicle and previously you've only ever used a drive-through car wash, and now you have a nice, shiny new vehicle and you're trying to keep it as clean as you possibly can and doing it the safest way, I'm going to be going over the steps on how to safely and properly achieve this. So, first and foremost, you will need some basic tools. Now behind me, I have my two wash buckets. I have my wheel bucket and my wash bucket. We have a wheel mitt, and then I also have a lug nut brush, a wheel face brush, tire brush. I'm going to be using the wheel mitt from the rag company in today's video. Fender well brush, and that should about cover it. If you want, you can get a lug nut brush. Not necessary, but it'll help get into those details. I like to have a measuring container for some of the products. We will be using Clean by Pan shampoo. So first I'm using this one. We got our tire dressing, quick detailer, which is for the end of the washing and when you're drying the vehicle so you can safely dry it and add lubrication to the surface without scratching or marring, or it at least reduces the chance. I have some DIY All Clean 15-to-1, and that is going to be used on fender wells and the liners. We also have the tire cleaner from ADS. This is a 4-to-1 dilution, more of a maintenance because this vehicle is kept up with really well. If I have to, I'll re-dilute it. We got our tire cleaner, or your wheel cleaner, correction, from ADS as well. Also has iron removing properties in that formula. We got 30 mils of water, or 30 ounces of water in our foam cannon. Wash mitt, another one from the rag company. Now, step one, you need to dilute your soap. So we're going to start off diluting in the foam cannon. We got our little measuring cup. So I'm going to go for good foam. And on the Clean by Pan bottle, it recommends 2 ounces. So it says 2 ounces in the foam cannon for good foam, and then in 4 gallons of water, you also need 2 ounces. So I only have a 3-gallon bucket with about 3 gallons of water. So we're going to do about 1.5. So first, measure your soap. It smells amazing. This is also my first time using Clean by Pan. All right, we got 1.5 ounces right here. And then we're gonna get it ready for the foam cannon. And we're gonna do 2. All right, as you can see, 2 ounces of water or soap. We're going to add that into the foam cannon. Cap it. Put the lid on. Make sure the knob on top is turned all the way to the right for max foaming ability. And then the next most important part is going to be your beverage of choice. This morning, I have a nice hot thermos of coffee. Now, I'm going to briefly go over the steps and what we're going to do, and then I'm going to quickly do one wheel on video, and then I'll do a time lapse of the rest. So, steps. First, we're going to clean wheels and tires and fender wells. After that, we will move into the pre-soak, and that's going to help break down any of the heavy dirt, grime, and gunk off the surface of the vehicle, making it a safer wash process. You will rinse off your first round of soap, and then after that, you will refoam it and go into the contact wash. Once you're done with your contact wash and getting everything clean, you then will do your final rinse off. Now, once you're done rinsing off, you have two options. If you have a blower of some sorts, you can blow the water off, or you can just go into using your drying towel with your quick detailer. So, now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into the nitty-gritty and get down to business. All right, now we are on to the wheels. This is not too dirty. On the back tire, it does not have a plastic fender well. So for the rear wheels, no need for the all-purpose cleaner or the fender well brush. So step one, we are going to spray it down with our tire cleaner. So let's get to the pre-soak. We'll start letting that sit and work and do its job. And we'll spray down the tire with those tire cleaners. And we're going to let that sit and soak. Now, while we let those two sit and do their job and dwell a little bit, I'm going to spray down the carpeted fender liner, and that'll be the dwell time. I'm gonna call that good enough, because on a sedan like this, you can't really see the fender wells, so it's not as big of a deal. But if you have a truck or an SUV of some sorts where it's more visible, you can take as much time as you would like getting that sprayed out and cleaned up as well as you possibly can. So let's rinse off the wheel, we'll reapply the cleaners and get into the contact. Done. Spray off number one, and you want to use the same technique or the same idea with your wheels and tires, because they're clear coated. More than likely they're clear coated. Could be a little different if you have the powder coated wheels, but I don't think it's much of a difference. So we're going to let that do its work, and we're going to dig out our wheel barrel brush. This is one from Adams. I really like this one. It's got the angle already. Go through get the barrels and get behind the spokes as well. Now, another thing to keep in mind, if you are doing this on a vehicle that has never been detailed before, there could be some dirt, grime, gunk, iron fallout that is permanently etched into the surface. This does not, so you don't worry about it. And another note that I forgot to mention is we are using Clean by Pan soap and the wash bucket for the wheels. So we got our lug nut brush. I like to just pinch it real quick and then it'll fit nicely into the lug nuts. And then we'll go down here, get that whole area back in the bucket. Where's my next one? Now we'll go to the wheel mitt. So this one you can just hold. You can also put your hand in it. It doesn't really fit my hand too well, so I'm just gonna hold it like this. And then go around, and then just take a little bit of time making sure you get all the surfaces. Now also to show the brush, I'm gonna do half with a mitt, other half with my dedicated wheel brush. It's in here and I can find it. Where'd it go? Well, this is not in here. I may have boxed that. My bad. Aha, found it. So, Detail Factory. And by the way, most of the brushes I'm using are from Detail Factory. And you just want to take your time and get around your wheel face. We did that. Now, let's move on to the tire. Now, depending on how long it's sat there, you can use, you can re-foam it up or apply more cleaning product. So we'll do that. We'll add a little bit because I can. There we go. Like I said, this vehicle is kept up with, so there's nothing heavy on it. Now, with your tire brush, you want to work around the lip of the rim and get into this area here against the rim and the tire. Completely up to you if you want to rinse off your brushes before you put them back in. Now, another note I will say with doing wheels and tires, one product that I have come to really enjoy having in my wheel bucket is rinseless wash. It doesn't foam up. It makes it a lot easier to find your brushes. And you know, your standard car wash soap, it'll work, but also with all the suds in there, it makes it difficult unless you have like a bucket cavity. So let's rinse off. Just like that, you're done. And you're gonna rinse and repeat this method on all 4 wheels and tires. Now, one more thing, sorry about that. If your wheels are ceramic coated, what you can do is spray it down with a water spot remover and get those minerals removed. I'm not going to worry about it on this wash, but that's another step you can do. And then at the very end, you can add a spray and rinse protection or whatever it is that you decide to put on the vehicle. So now we are done with the wheels and tire, and I'm going to do a time lapse of the rest of them, and then we'll come back in for the foaming and the contact wash. All right, we are finished with wheels and tires. Now, I made a slip up on the wheels and tires. Let's see how many of you caught that slip up. So, now that we are on to the wash process, we have our foam cannon with 30 ounces of water, 2 ounces of soap. Making sure the knob, sorry about that, is turned all the way to the right. So we are going to foam down the vehicle, and like I said earlier, I believe, this is my first time using Clean by Pan soap. Actually, another thing you can do, raise up your wiper blade arms, just like that. All right, let's get into it to see how it foams. So far, pretty good. And then my foam cannon does that. I need to order a 1.1 orifice for this and see what it does. There we go. All right, so come on, play ball. Hey, and all right, now let's get a little close up real quick on how 2 ounces of Clean by Pan does. I'm satisfied with how thick that is. Smells good. Now, with this process, it is emulsifying the dirt, breaking it down, and dragging it off of the vehicle for a safer contact wash. Now, I already filled my bucket. I got the wheel mitt or the wash mitt in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to finish foaming the rest of the vehicle. I'm going to do the rinse off, the refoam, and the contact wash. And then once I get done with that, we'll be back. So we're going to switch over to a time lapse.
Rewind, come again.
All right, we are back after foam, rinse, foam, or chemical rinse, chemical. The same idea can be applied with the rinseless wash as well. So now that the vehicle is refoamed, one thing to keep in mind, the second foam is there as a added layer of extra protection and slickness on the paint to help the it fly. So it's recommended to start from the top and work your way down. You want to have a system down and, you know, more or less like your own little SOP. If you're doing this just for your personal vehicle, I still recommend top to bottom. But the great thing is, since you did foam, rinse, foam, it is removing a lot of, or all of the heavy grit. So you're not as concerned, but it's still good to get your own, you know, wash procedure done. Done there. Now, depending on how dirty the vehicle is, you know, if you just went muddy, you can do multiple rounds with your soap, because you really want to get that heavy gunk and the grit off so you don't damage your vehicle. So you're not pushing dirt and grime into your paint. Now, with the wash mitt, you're using your hand to guide the wash mitt across the paint. You don't want pressure. If there is an area of the vehicle that is particularly dirty, then just lightly go over it a couple times. And there's also, you know, you can use a clay mitt if you want, but that's a little more than basic hand washing. Now, one thing I like to do with washing is when I'm all done and finished with the wash process, I'll go through, open up the doors, and just wipe down the door jambs. As long as they're not too dirty. If they're real bad, we need to get more in depth. Get that clean. And I will also go along the whole bottom of the vehicle, dead last, and just run my hand all the way around, real quickly, to get any dirt and grime that's on the lower left. Now, another tip is, once that last, also the same thing do it last, because it's going to be one of the dirtier parts of the vehicle. And break it down into sections and show them. Take your time. Car washing, detailing. can tell, I'm almost done. It doesn't take long at all. And we'll find out if this microphone still has signal from being on the other side of the car. Hopefully, I'll sit in my driveway, talk to myself like a clown. Yeah, and you want a system down, that way you start in one spot, you end at the same spot every time. That way you're not missing spots. The neighbors. Now you can use and grab your wash mitt to get in some of these more intricate areas right here, like below the fog light. Now, if you don't have the brushes, that's what I recommend. If not, get a nice body brush that's nice and soft, not going to damage your paint, and use it to get into the intricate areas. But this is washing 101, so I'm not going to do it like that this time. All these little nooks and crannies along the vent. All right, so now that we're done with that step, we'll move on to the door jambs. Now these aren't dirty, so you can just quickly go over it, get the door jambs, and we're done. And then, as I was saying earlier, we're getting the bottom of the vehicle. Now this is also a mitt. Put your hand in here and work all along. Now, as you can see here, yeah, that's why you want to do it last. So, let me pause the video and we'll get back in to the final rinse off and drying. All right, we are finished with the contact wash. Went through, got the lower rockers, all the door jambs. Now we're gonna rinse. When you're doing your final rinse, you wanna be more in depth with your rinsing to get as much of the soap out of all the nooks and crannies as you possibly can. Now you can use your pressure washer to go along like these little tracks and blast the soap out. rinsing off the door jambs. We'll open the door very carefully. You know what? Let's move you to a better angle real quick. All right. Think right there. There we go. Now, you can use it with the nozzle. If you do, start spraying out and then work your way in, or you can just take it off and flood the area. So that's what I'm going to do here. Get all the suds removed. Get underneath. Now, obviously, when you're doing this, you want to take care not to blast your electronics, you know? Speakers are not designed to take that kind of water unless for, you know, maybe some reason if you decided to put boat speakers in your vehicle. So, start up here, rinse out, go up. Now, any water you get inside the vehicle, which if you take your time, it won't be a lot. You can just go through when you're done and dry it down real fast. But there shouldn't be a whole lot in, as long as you're being meticulous. So I'm going to finish the wash or the rinse off process, and then we'll be right back. But first, let's see how XO-V4 tops with their V2 ceramic sealants did. Holding up good. Alrighty guys, let me finish up and then we'll be back for the drying. Alrighty, we are back after the final rinse off. And now it is time to dry the vehicle. Like I stated earlier, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can just use a detail spray of your choice, or if your vehicle is coated, another good option, and it is my personal favorite and preferred method, unless I'm doing a rinseless wash, is using a leaf blower. So I'm gonna dry just this section of the vehicle because it's gonna get really loud, and then we'll switch over to a time lapse. I'll finish air drying the vehicle and from that point you go into the physical drying with your towel. So let's see how well the coating is going to eject the water off. Get your wheels. And just like that, you can see how quickly and easy it is to remove a majority of the water from the surface of the vehicle. So now we're going to switch over to time lapse. I'm going to finish up and then we'll get into using detail spray. Switch it up. like that, and you can flip it over to the drier side if you accidentally added a little too much. Put the rest of that glass. And we'll hit. Ooh. Now, if there's a little bit of haziness, or like light streaking, it will dissipate away. So, right there, it's already gone. Light spray on the glass. Maybe 2-3 sprays per panel. You can also put your finger in the towel to get into the seams. You just lightly go over the surface to pick up remaining water. Now, near the bottom, you want to keep control of your towel so it doesn't touch the ground, because that'd be a shame with all this hard work you put into cleaning your vehicle and the towel accidentally picks up some dirt or gunk and scratches the surface. So, light spray, the door jambs. You really don't need a lot with your detail spray. And actually, the more you use, the more difficult your life can be. So less is more. Here. Also, don't forget your wheels. Now, one thing I didn't show on video is I did use DIY Quick Beads, which is a spray and rinse product on the wheels. Quick Beads is its own drying aid. So once you do that, you don't have to use a drying aid because it is its own drying aid. So let's switch over to another time lapse and we'll finish drying the vehicle. And then we'll be back with the next step. All right, finished with the contact dry. And if you get a good job, you will see, yeah, I'm not really seeing any dirt. So, if you did good, you won't be seeing any dirt. And now, we're gonna pause, move on to tire dressing. Another tip as well, when you're finished, you will need to go around and catch the random drips that just come out of everywhere, like mainly under the mirror. And we got a little bit right there. I'm not seeing any drips on the other side. So let's get into the tire shine. All right, so we are at the tire shine stage. I got a clean, dirty job towel, and you want to get the tire as dry as you possibly can. And I'm gonna call that dry enough. Now, we got clean by pan tire dressing. And so you apply it, and then you let it sit for 10 minutes. Now, when you're finished dressing all your tires, you want to roll the vehicle forward like a foot or so, and then you can dress that bottom lip. So let's see how it does. Since there is a breeze, I'm going to prime it away from the vehicle. There we go. All right, we'll do this underneath. Call that good enough. Here. And then you can use your finger to hit the lip between the rim and the tire. And just like that, you're done with dressing. Now, I'm gonna go do the rest of the tires, roll it forward a little bit, hit the bottoms, and we'll come through with the final inspection. All right, just like that, we are finished. And those are the basics of washing. If I caught any little drips, you can see the pan tire dressing applies very nice. Just a little bit of finger marks there. And yeah, it's gonna be it for this video. If you have any questions or if you noticed anything I missed, let me know. If you like this kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I try to post a video every Wednesday and Saturday. I will have links to all the products that I used in this video in the description. And if you're looking to get DIY products, which I did use the All Clean for the fender wells, I do have an affiliate link that will save you a little bit of money. That's gonna be it. Have a great day, everyone. And one of the biggest things to remember is have fun while you're detailing. That's it. Bye.